Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. So that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser.
We've got I'm just going to take 2 or 3 minutes. We've got a program called Learn to Lead that Lesego and myself are running this year. We have a few people in the audience who are our current year's intake. I'm going to ask you just to stand for a minute. I'm sorry to minute, but if the 6 of us can just stand for a second. So we've been meeting every month. Wam is up first, Tony obviously. Yay! Thanks, guys. So we've combined it this month to say let's not have a separate Learn to Lead session. Let's have our session together. When we put together Learn to Lead, we were looking at how we can give back as corporate leaders in Botswana, and we've actually been approached by a few other countries. Some colleagues of ours in Zambia are going to do something similar. There's a children's song when I was a young child, and I used to go to Sunday school, and it had the phrase that said, "Because I have been given much, I too must give." So because we've been given so much, we must give something back. And to be honest, when I moved here, I didn't really find where I could give back to society. The Botswana society works really, really well. There wasn't necessarily a soup kitchen that I could go to and help, or like I had maybe some other places I'd lived. And then when Lesego and I talked, we've worked together and been friends for a good 5 years. We were talking about how can we do something to give back. And we realized just how blessed we had been with the leadership work that had been invested in us, the conferences we had been on, and just said there's an opportunity to give something back. So what this was is really just putting that together in a way that each of us in the room has got something to contribute. I'm sure most of you have been approached by other people to say, look, you're leading somebody, or you're involved in an organization, or if you've got a bit of experience, and they've said, how can you help me? And it's very difficult to answer that question sometimes. So we sit there and think, okay, how can I actually pay it forward to you? How can I give you something if I don't really have a structure? So can you mentor me? And then we say, okay, well, yes, but I don't really know what the first step is in that. When we looked at this, we said, let's see, we can't pour from an empty cup. So what we're going to do is just try and provide a platform that we can bring other leaders that really know what they're doing, to connect them with our Learn to Lead candidates. They'll be a lot bigger next year. And in doing that, we allow that knowledge to translate through. And today's no different. So Chantal approached us. She runs a very, very successful company in Cape Town that works throughout Africa. Tuso will introduce her properly, but really it's exceptional, the work that they're doing. As I say, I'm excited. Les and I are going to sit at the back, and we're going to be taking our own notes and participating. And really what this allows us to do is connect Chantal to you today. There is, what I understand that I'm looking forward to is just working on my personal vision statement. Understanding that's how to learn from a place of strength and how to lead from a place of strength, and really just finding myself and maybe just connecting with how I'm going to go about mentoring and giving back in the future. There's another piece that's important today, is that no one's been asked to pay anything, money-wise. So there's no money that's needed to come to us. We've got sponsors in the background that have been able to pay for whatever you're going to experience today, but you are paying something. You're paying in your time. And time is an extremely valuable resource. So it's actually a big thank you to us today for investing in us, for believing that Chantal and the team have got this to offer you, and for bringing your best selves here. So thank you very much. And Chantal, thank you so much for being here today. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Luke. Good morning, everyone. Oh, let's try that again. I think I had 3 or 4 voices. Morning, everyone. Morning. Great stuff. Unlike Luke is one of the most calm, collected, and highly sophisticated guys that I know, right? Me, I'm a simple guy. I'm a loud guy, and I'm all over the place. And so are we right now. I'm going to try and bring a little bit of organization to this room. All right? Can I walk around? Okay, a video guy says no. Guys, can I please ask very humbly that we move closer to the front of the room, just so that we are, number one, closer together, because that's what brings out the magic. But also, number two, it also feels a lot more homely if we do it that way. So, if you're sitting in the back, please come closer to me. Everybody, if we can try and just occupy the first 5 rows, please. First 5 rows. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much. You know what? I've never had so much control and power in my life. So this feels really, really good. People are listening to me right now. Great stuff. And like you, Luke, I'm really excited to see a couple of familiar faces this morning. I see you there, Mr. Manax. See you there, Mr. Manax. I see you there, my pillow. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you ever so much. Now I'm going to tell you a little story. My name is Tuso. It's the end of the story. So in 2017, round about August, September, thereabout, I went on a voyage to Cape Town to attend the Customer Experience Management Summit for Africa. I had no idea what it was about, but I knew what I wanted to come out with, coming back from Cape Town. While we were there, obviously there was a number of speakers over the 2-3 day program, and Ms. Chantel Buota was one of them. Not only was she a speaker, her company Brand Love was also a sponsor and exhibitor at the forum. Now, one of the things that struck me the most was her exhibition booth. It had a very strong message that everybody passing by could never miss, especially not me. She had pink hair, and it was extremely loud at her booth, in a good way. The branding on the booth said, "Kiss your customers." I was a customer at the time, so I went close. I mean, she had pink hair, and she was just such a ball of energy. And I kept going closer and closer, and I asked questions at the booth, but then I kept looking at the message to say, when does it come? When does it come? Unfortunately, the best thing that I came out of there with was a selfie. That's as close as I got to the kiss I was expecting. But it was very profound, because I said, okay, what do you mean kiss your customers? And it wasn't in the literal sense to say, smooch them and stick your tongue down their throat. But it was about creating a connection, a lasting connection via the experience that you deliver. I know that we all don't go around kissing people for no apparent reason. We do it because there is a genuine love and affinity towards each other, to demonstrate the value that the next person holds in terms of your life. Now, if we bring it into business, the principles for me are the same. But I'm not a speaker here today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just here to introduce our warrior this morning. I'm going to call her that. She's a very, very close friend of mine, an associate that became a friend and family. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Chantel Buota is not only an entrepreneur, she's not only a mentor and an inspiration, she's also an author. She is an international speaker. She has authored the book, The Customer Journey Mapping Field Guide. She also has established, like I said earlier on, the customer experience training and consultancy company called Brand Love, based in Cape Town, but with a footprint all over the world. I have no idea how much time you spend at home now, Chantel. I know you built a beautiful home, but I think you hear stories more than you experience stories about your home. Chantel is on a quest, ladies and gentlemen, to bridge the gap between what companies promise and what companies deliver on the ground. Sometimes you see adverts and you go in there with an expectation of a certain level of delivery and you don't always get that. She has established that and has made herself the sacrifice towards being part of the solution towards bridging that gap. She knows that employees on that journey are the secret sauce. She knows that that gap can never be bridged just by management or by leadership or by board or whoever. Employees, the runners on the ground, are the secret sauce towards bridging that gap. She has over 30 years of experience. How many of us are 30 years or older? She has over 30 years of experience. So I think we can sort of listen and believe what she says, right? When I first came across the concept of laugh therapy, it was because of Chantel. I laughed and there was no joke. The entire audience laughed and there was no joke. So, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to prepare yourselves to be dazzled. I invite you to prepare yourselves to go on a journey like no other, to experience a presentation and inspiration like no other. Ladies and gentlemen, the phenomenal, the ball of energy, the firecracker, Chantel. I got my kiss.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I love you so much. And I didn't know about this kiss thing. Listen, but you've seen me now in my jacket. Can I please take my jacket off? You've seen I dressed up for you. Okay, let me. All right, fantastic. So welcome to the Brand Warrior Lite Morning Edition. And as Luke said, I'm exceptionally grateful for your time, right? Because that's our most limited resource. That's the one thing we actually don't know how much we've got. So the fact that you're here just tells me that you've got a huge commitment, and I take this responsibility very seriously. So I've prepared an agenda for you, and all I'm going to ask that some of it might be weird, but I'm going to ask you to play full out. But before we get into the agenda, there's something that I have to just get off my chest. I have, for the last few days, been driving in the CBD. And usually when I go to another country, I try and be an extra law-abiding citizen. You know, don't do drugs, don't drink. Just be a good, extra good citizen, right? But there's something about the CBD and the traffic rules there that baffles my mind. You know, the stop streets They're more like a suggestion in the CBD, right? So I stopped at the stop street and I watched the people just gliding. And I was watching this and trying to figure out when is it my chance to go. And usually I come from a town where there's a lot of retired people. So usually I'm the one hooting and being rude and shouting and going, I'm in menopause, for freaking hell's sake, please just go, right? So now I'm in the CBD and I waited a little bit longer because I'm trying to figure out when is it my chance, and someone hoots at me. So coming from a country that has a lot of power outages, thank you, by the way, thank you so much. I could actually do my hair this morning. So when we have power outages in South Africa, the traffic lights go out. So we do this gliding thing, but it's exceptional circumstances, right? If you've got 9 hours of power outages a day, which is pretty much what we're dealing with now, you've got to glide, and then you know the hijacking, right? Serious crime rate, so we glide. But here in the Gaborone CBD, right in daylight, people glide across the stop streets. So I realized this morning, I left quite early, and I realized how much I want to fit in. And I conjured up the courage. And this morning, for the first time, I drove through the CBD and I glided over those stop streets. So I just want to say thank you for the liberation of just breaking all the traffic rules that normally I would get seriously fined in South Africa for doing that. So I feel so welcome in your country, and thank you for inviting me. And Luke, I'm so I'm just standing in admiration of what you're doing. All right, so let's quickly look at, so Tuso was telling the truth about me, right? But there's more. I feel just we're going to spend the whole morning together. So you ready for some more truth? All right. So there's this underwear model on Google. Her name's Chantal Botha. That is not me, right? If you Google her, she's going to make promises that I just will not be able to keep. So I'm just putting that out there. Please do not Google Chantal Botha. She's skinny and no, it's not me. It's not me. Okay, this is the real Chantal Botha. Okay, but let me show you more. So I was conceived out of wedlock to my wonderful parents. And my father was a farmer. He had a few cattle and pretty much nothing else. And my mother said, I am not living in your mother's home. So my father said, listen, ain't got no money. So my father had these amazing Setswana friends, and they helped him build this house. So that's my house. And when I was born, they christened me Mapula. So my friends call me Mapula, and the woman who pretty much raised me, her name was Macy, and she gave me a clay pot and 2 cents. And I still have the clay pot and the 2 cents and all of the dreams that she had for me. So when I come here, there's something just special that happens in my heart. I want to take you on a treasure hunt, right? But on this treasure hunt, we need a bit of a map, right? We need to know where we are, and we need to know where we're going. Now, when you go on any good treasure hunt, tell me, what do you encounter? If the treasure's big, what do you encounter on that hunt? Obstacles. There's dragons, right? There's pirate ships. There's a chance you might get lost. Oh, and that is the story of my life, right? I lose myself every few days, and then I look for myself, and then I find myself. Absolutely. So the journey we're going to go on is to find the treasure. Now, I'm going to just leave you with this internal question about how much do you want to find the treasure? How much do you find the treasure? Because I see incredible passion in this room and incredible genius, but you got to want it badly. And the reason why I shared the earlier story with you of me growing up in a mud house with looking after cattle and loving my cattle, and I had a little deer, a little orphaned Bambi deer that was my friend. It got struck by lightning. How likely is that? In any case, so the reason why I'm here is because I wanted this so much. I wanted so much to give back to people. I wanted so much to see smiles and to see shiny eyes. My job is shiny eyes. All right. So on this treasure, we are going to go through a few things, and I want us just to quickly talk about commitments, right? I'm going to be walking around, so you will be present, right? If you're doing some other shit and I look at you, you're going to feel terrible. All right, so you are going to be present. Take what you need, right? I've got, it's like a menu, right? I'm giving you a 5-course meal. You might not like the starter, right? But you might love the dessert. So take from this meal what I've prepared for you. Then you are going to be talking in pairs, right? We're not here just to, I can't preach to you, right? I say to people, you know what, every morning I've got a beautiful routine. I get up in the morning, I have my green tea, I meditate, I exercise, but I remain fucked up, right? So I can't stand here and say, I've got it waxed, because I don't. But you're here to learn from each other. So you're going to pair up, you're going to chat in pairs, and then you're really here to serve each other as much as what you're here to serve yourself. All right, we will have breaks. So, I mean, I'm not going to prevent you from going to the loo, right? But if we can minimize in and out, especially when we're in a group discussion. All right, you happy with that? Happy with that? Okay, great stuff. So, now, you have a remote control in your hand. So I want you to grab your phone, and that is going to be your remote control for me, right? You can control me with that. And I want you to scan that QR code. If you struggle with the QR code, you go to menti.com. Menti.com. And if for some reason you don't have your phone or you're not on the network, just think about these questions. All right, I'm going to take you through a series of questions. So, some of what I learned in active listening was to really be mindful in the moment where someone's talking to me. So focus on the speaker. Ask questions, but ask questions to deepen my understanding. And don't rehearse my question while they're still talking. And then repeat back. So we're going to do an exercise in a little bit, but usually when we have, sometimes at work, we have conversations and it's noisy around us, right? Our brain literally takes all of these cues and try and processes it. Now, I've learned a lot in the last few months. My eldest son is 18, and we found out middle of last year that he's autistic. I thought he was just weird, right? I thought he was just a weird little dude that didn't fit in anywhere, and then we found out he's on the autistic spectrum. And this taught me so much about how our brains work. He has a odd thing that if you sit with him and you make a, you make a repetitive movement like this and a sound, he completely freaks out. And through working with the psychologist, I realized that his brain's trying to make sense of What is the foot doing and what is the noise doing? Now I'm trying to have a conversation with him and giving him instructions, but I'm doing this, right? His brain doesn't know how to process all these signals at once. Now, neurotypical people like us, we handle that a lot better, right? But also, if you're having a conversation with someone and it's super noisy, there's a ton of distractions, right? So we focus on also looking at nonverbal cues. Let's quickly get from you. What's happening there? What is that nonverbal cue? The piece that you can see here, what's going on there? Take a shot. Yeah. She likes him, right? She likes him. The foot like this tells me she likes. Yeah, I saw you. You got it first. You got it first. She's done that before, by the way. Huh? She does the little foot thing. Okay. So, and then judgment. Okay. And people, I sometimes listen to the voices inside me and I go, oh my word, I hope nobody can hear what I'm thinking. Right? When someone tells me something and judgment just slips in. And you can practice. You can practice to suspend judgment. All right, and you're going to have an opportunity to do that a little bit later. And then empathy. I have literally, in my career, I've listened to thousands and thousands of telephone calls in the customer service environment. Who works in customer service? Okay. I bow to you, right? It's not for the faint-hearted. But I would hear telephone calls where someone calls a death claims call center and they say, my mother's just died. And the agent would go, policy or ID number of the deceased, please. Because that's what the script says, right? But we go for the process instead of being with the person, and I do that a lot. I've ruined friendships because I didn't listen and because I didn't apply empathy. I was just, someone would tell me something very vulnerable, and then I'd go on to want to fix it. Right? Who's a fixer? Join the Fixers Anonymous. Right. Okay, great. So that combination of truly creating an environment to listen, being present, looking at the nonverbal cues, applying empathy, and then listening reflectively. So what I do now with my eldest son is I give him an instruction, and then I say, Christian, what did you hear? Just play that back to me. Because often what he hears and what I say is two different things. And if you're married, you would know that happens a lot in marriages, right? What I say and what the other person hears is like planets apart. Okay, so sometimes just playing back. This is what I heard you say. Did I get it right? All right. And then my slides are now ugly because I've taken them from that nice, beautiful AI into Keynote, right? So I did put a lot of love into them, but unfortunately it's doing that now. So exercise patience and curiosity. You know what? I think the biggest gift that you can give someone is actually listening to them. Just being in that moment, just being patient and being curious about what's happening in their life. And then I often ask people for feedback. How did this conversation go? Is there anything I could have done better in this conversation? And then self-regulating as well. Sometimes I'd come out of a conversation and I go, oh my word, my brain was so busy, I was making to-do lists, and I'll say to someone, listen, you got to just say that again because I wasn't properly listening to you. I want to be with you. I want to be present. I wasn't properly listening. Also with our kids, right? My kids come after I've had, 5,000 meetings in 8 hours, right? They come and they want to tell me about school, and I go, listen, Bookie, just wait. Give me 30 minutes. Let me just unwind, because if you talk to me now, I'm not going to listen to you. Give me 30 minutes, and then I'll listen to you. So also managing our environment and knowing what we can accommodate and what we can't accommodate. Okay, so now, when the slide says it's time to tango, you're going to find a partner either next to you or opposite you. And if you are sitting alone, then you might have to find a partner. Okay, so we're going to do an exercise where you are going to split into pairs. All right? You're not really going to tango. Oh, he's now so disappointed. He's so disappointed. For my 30th birthday, I went to Argentina with my mom to celebrate my birthday there. People, it was the cheapest. It was like 4,500 rands for 7 nights, accommodation, flights, everything included. It was like the cheapest package, right? So we get there, and I said to my mom, I love Argentine tango. So we go to this community center. I found myself an Argentine tango teacher. He speaks no English. He can count 1, 2, 3, 4. But I tell you, he didn't have to speak English. It was just body language all the way. Anyway, okay. So I'm sorry, we're not really going to tango. We are going to do an exercise in pairs. All right, now I'm going to test your listening. How this is going to work. You're going to start and decide who's going to be the speaker and who's going to be the listener. The listener, your job will be to practice all of these things. Maintain eye contact. Be aware of what happens inside of you. If you start making up your own story, I want you to stop yourself. If you're thinking, oh my God, I want you to suspend that judgment, okay? So I want you to be listener. I want you to listen, be present, but also be aware what's going on inside yourself, okay? Now, the speaker, and don't start rehearsing yet. Wait, okay. After you've done this, I'm going to time this for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, okay. Then, after the 2 minutes, and I'll tell you when the time's up, after the 2 minutes, the listener is going to, in 30 seconds, play back the most insightful thing that they heard. All right. So you can say something like, I'm so glad you shared that with me. What I heard is that you are very excited about X. Okay. So I want you to listen, and I want you to focus on the person and see where their energy is the highest. Okay, so that's round 1. Then round 2, you're going to swap around. And now you're going to do it the other way around. All right. So for round 1, and I'm going to give you 2 topics to speak about. Because otherwise in round 1, you're going to be practicing what you're going to say in round 2. Okay, so you'll get different instructions. All right. So, speakers, quickly pair up and decide who's the speaker and who's the listener. So, what you're going to be talking about is, speaker, what are the things that make you so grateful for life? Okay, what are the things that make you so grateful in life? Okay, you ready? I'm just going to use my phone here as a timer. Okay. And your 2 minutes starts now.
Try carrying the weight of the world. But
I see some good conversations happening here. Okay, now you're going to swap sides. Okay? Okay? And now, the speaker this time will be talking about what are the things you are most proud of in your life. Okay, you ready? I'm going to set the time and start.
and I So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. 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 I didn't know.
So, I want you to make a note in your notebook, and if you are really keen on learning some incredibly powerful stuff, go and look on YouTube for Chris Voss. Chris Voss is the most famous hostage negotiator in the United States. Chris Voss. Chris, V-O-S-S. Now, I did a masterclass of Chris Voss 2 months ago. I've been applying that knowledge, and it blows my mind what people tell me about themselves. So he teaches you the techniques that he uses in those hostage dramas with the people that are holding the people hostage, the bad guys, right? And how he gets them to trust him. So go and have a look. I know he's got a book as well. I'm just not a great reader. I'm good with audio and video. But I was checking into a hotel in Cape Town on Tuesday evening. And the lady said to me, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but it says room only. Breakfast is not included." And I thought of doing an eye roll. And then I thought, no, let's channel Chris Voss, right? So I started chatting to her, and I saw, I feel a little bit bad because this is like slightly misuse of my skills here, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So I looked at her phone, and I saw pictures of her kids. And I started talking about her kids, and I said, "Tell me about your kids." And by the end of this conversation, she told me how overweight she is, how bad she felt about herself. And I said, "Listen, like it took me 10 years to drop some of the baby weight." And we had a really authentic conversation. But at the end of this conversation, I got a 400 Rand breakfast voucher, right? Because she could see I'm just human. And nobody else speaks to her in that way. Nobody else cares that she's standing on her feet all day long, that she's got a little 8-month baba at home that hardly sees their mom that's working in hospitality, right? So I'm not telling you this to brag that I did have a lovely breakfast. I actually had sparkling 2 glasses of sparkling wine on Wednesday morning before I flew here. I had to. It's a 5-star hotel. Anyway, but if you connect with someone, right, and they trust you, you can solve problems together. Okay, so incredibly, incredibly important skill. You go for it. Let's quickly get back to how it was to be the speaker. Anyone felt slightly uncomfortable? I mean, that man brought his beautiful wife, but maybe you didn't know the person you were speaking to. Anyone felt a little bit vulnerable sharing what's important to them? Yeah? A little bit vulnerable, a little bit uncomfortable? Felt pressure? Yeah? How can I impress them? Right. Shouldn't go overboard, right? His internal voice is saying to him, "You too much. You okay? Expose myself, okay?" And then who felt like 2 minutes was too long? Like, when is it going to end? Oh, hell. When is it going to end? I didn't say you have to speak for the whole 2 minutes, right? I just said you had 2 minutes. So you made the assumption that you had to fill the whole 2 minutes with stuff. Okay? While you were speaking, who felt like, oh, I didn't think about that recently? Like, at that moment you go, oh, I haven't thought about this recently, right? So Nancy Klein is another person to really follow. She wrote a book called Time to Think. And what she talks about in this book is, if you know someone's listening to you uninterruptedly, they're going to listen to you uninterruptedly, your quality of thinking improves. Because we don't have to fight for airtime the whole time, right? You've been in a meeting where you have to fight for airtime because you get interrupted all the time, right? I've had a few people in my team and they go, Chantal, you just interrupted me. Can I please finish? But do it lovingly, right? Because, hey, I like the sound of my own voice. I will interrupt you. So think about, I think, would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert? Okay. Who's introverts? Okay. So introverts usually have a lot of the solution, but they don't get the airtime, right? Introverts, you get interrupted a lot. So my husband's a deep introvert, and what I say to him often is, honey, can you just talk faster? I can't listen that slowly. Very impatient with him. He talks very slowly. So a really great technique, right? Introverts, go back to your boss on Monday and tell them you would like to experiment with doing a feedback round in your meetings, right? If you do a feedback round, we even use a speaking stone, right? In our face-to-face workshops, we have a stone. If you've got the speaking stone, you can speak and nobody else speaks. We even sometimes use it at our dinner table because we've got 2 extroverts and 3 introverts around the table. So no surprise there that me and my daughter, we rule that table, right? So then you give everyone, you go into a meeting knowing that everyone's going to have airtime. When they have the speaking stone, they speak their wisdom. When they don't, they shut up. So introverts, that's a really good way to unlock your wisdom. Otherwise, often your wisdom gets lost because people know that you're quiet. People know you'd rather lean back and you look at the circus in front of you and look at the extroverts competing with each other about who's the smartest, right? It happens. It happens. All right, great stuff. So let's close this part of the activity. You ready for the next one? Let me just quickly check our time. We are going to have a coffee break in 15 minutes. Okay? Can we still go? Okay. So on our treasure hunt, I want us now to look at where you find yourself. All right. So in order to plot our course, where we're going, I want you to evaluate where you are right now. So for this activity, you are going to need your pen and paper. And we are going to do something called the Wheel of Life. Okay, who loves cars? Ooh, there's a lot of people loving cars there. Okay. Tell me quickly, who thinks they've got the nicest car in the room? You've got the nicest car. Okay, what have you got? What have you got? A Jeep Wrangler. I know. I love the Jeep Wrangler. Hey? So, you've also got a nice car. Yeah, it's very nice. Tell us. Ah. I shouldn't have picked cars. This can dominate the conversation for the rest of the day. Okay. So let's say all of your nice cars, because we don't have to compete here. Let's say you have a flat wheel. What's going to happen? She's the princess. She calls someone. You change yours. That's such an important skill. That's such an important skill to learn. Okay. Can you see that? So you draw a circle, right? And then you're going to have these lines that are the spokes of your wheel. Okay? At the top it says business, then finance, health, family and friends, romance, personal development, fun and recreation, and contribution. So duplicate that template on your page, but give yourself some nice space. Of these aspects, you are going to score yourself out of 10. Let's say, how am I doing on health at the moment? So I would score myself a 3 because I'm not getting exercise. I eat quite badly and I drink way too much. So where would I want to be is the next question. Right, so as you're going through those aspects, you know, I probably don't want to be a 9 out of 10 because there's no way I'm ever going to go to gym 3 days a week, right? I maybe want to be a 6. From a 3, if I can be to a 6. Okay, so you're going to go through each of these aspects and rate yourself. Where are you now? And where would you like to be in this particular aspect? Question?
Can you give the same score, or does every one of those have a unique score?
Yes, everyone is going to have a unique score between 1 and 10.
So you can't give personal development and family a 26 score.
You can. You can. You can. Okay, so if they score exactly the same, right, you can give them the same score. Go for it. There's another question.
What contributions are we talking? What contributions?
Oh,
are we talking about?
contribution means, am I contributing to the community? Am I contributing to society? What is the personal contribution I'm making to other people's lives? And that doesn't mean like feeding your children, because we all have to feed them. Okay, so what is the contribution beyond myself that I'm making? Okay, everybody clear on the instruction? Okay, go for it. Can I put some music on for you now? Okay.
I'm a mentor for adolescent girls and young women. So I feel like I've left out for my business. It's not doing well these days because I've dedicated my time too much to adolescent girls and young women. So I need to work hard towards my business.
But it's admirable, right? I want to just, let's give her an applause. She's donating her time, right? She's in service of other people. But sometimes you need to curb that back a little bit and look after yourself. You know, it's like, you know, I always laugh if they say on the aeroplane, you know, if the oxygen mask comes out, then, you know, first put it on yourself and then put it on, help the person next to you. And if you travel with kids, I've got 3, right? So when I put the oxygen mask, I need to decide who's got the best income potential to look after me one day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it's really, you need to put that oxygen mask on, because if you get oxygen, you can give so much more. If you given your own glass is empty, then at some stage you're gonna have a breakdown, right? You're just gonna get so tired that you can't give anymore. So all the best with that. Go for it. Here's one more in front.
I realized that I don't.
There's a mic there.
Oh, sorry. For me, the aha moment was the personal development. I've given it 0 or 1 because, and I always have I'm going to call it an excuse, that I don't have the time because, you know, as I'm sure you'd understand, finding the balance between knocking off the hours that we put in, and then you got to go home, and then there's the kids, and then there's the other person that you've committed your life to forever and ever until death. So I always tell myself that I don't have the time. How do I find time to? I think I feel a little bit selfish to say I'm going to block this time out and it's for my studies and so and so. But when you said write down something you can do on Monday, I think that was an aha moment for me, because it's just about dedicating, even if it's hour a week or 2 hours a week. So I think that for me really was an eye-opener.
And we think we need to do these big things, right? But we need to do little things. And I got really the sense when you were talking, is life happening to you or is life happening for you? That's a very different. If you don't design your life, life's going to happen to you. If you don't have discipline around your time, people are going to just take your time. I mean, I struggle massively with a calendar problem, right? Sometimes I block off time and then when I look, it's full again. It's not a time problem, it's a discipline problem. So design your life so that it works for you and don't try and get 2 hours of learning time, right? Put a podcast on in your car. Listen to it for 5 minutes. Someone that inspires you, someone that you love to listen to. Great stuff. We've got one comment there and one here, and then it's and then one there. 3. And then it's coffee time. I'm so glad that you want to keep on chatting, that you're not tired yet.
Hi, mine isn't even an aha moment. It's almost in response to what she's just said. And it's the acknowledgement and realization that all of us being here today is actually us contributing towards our self-development. So if you didn't take that into consideration, that you are spending your Saturday working on yourself and being here and learning, then you should give yourself an extra point or 2 in your self-development.
Nice one. Great job. All right. Where was the other hand? There we go. In the middle there. Thank you, Mr. Video Man. Oh, let's give him a hand. He's doing a great job.
So for me, I think the most things that I have noted is that for the past 2 years, I haven't been doing most of the things. I have a 2-year-old. After struggling, I'll get into personal issues. After struggling for 10 years in marriage without a child, only in 2021 during COVID, I had that miracle baby. So for the past 2 years.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you. So for the past 2 years, everything stopped. My personal development, my family, so it was like I'm just focusing on this baby and not doing anything else. So I think for me, now it's time for me to say, I've got what I wanted. Now I need to develop myself.
And it doesn't mean you love that baby any less if you take a little bit of time for yourself. But that baby needs a mama whose wheel can run, right? Your baby needs a mama whose wheel's nice and round, even if you're not scoring 10s on everything. Thank you for sharing.
Right. For me, just to add on what she just said on personal development, to say, I had a career break for 2 years. I took a career break in 2017 to 2019, and I made a decision that the kids are now grown, so it's time for me to go back and rebuild. So it's okay to focus on yourself and rebuild, and be intentional about it, and you'll make it.
Wonderful. Thank you. There's one more voice there, and then we're going to call a coffee break.
Well. I just realized that I'm penny wise and pound foolish. For someone who is unemployed like me, I read a lot. Each time I get money, I run to exclusive books. Then I remember later on that, I should have saved for 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll do it next month. Next month I get $50. I'm thinking of a book. I think that's something that I need to improve on.
Oh, listen, I have an addiction for books. I'm really finding it hard to give it. Sometimes I have the paper book and the audio book and the Kindle version of the same book, right? So I understand your.
I believe in hard copies.
Amazing.
That book is my last day on earth.
Amazing. So that's her indulgence. Amazing. So just to close this off, this journey that we're on this morning, we now know where you find yourself, right? When we come back, we're going to look at the human needs that drive you, right? Because you don't find yourself just randomly where you are. There's something driving you. And if you can start shifting what's driving you, you're going to see a whole new level of excellence in your life. Not just in business, right? We're not here just for business. We're here because you've got a unbelievable genius in you that needs to be unlocked. And only you have the key. Nobody else has the key. All right. So I thank you for the first part of this morning. We are going to have a 20-minute break. A is how to process stress. Activity B is how to feel euphoric, like you have taken an illegal substance, but you have not. I'm not even making eye contact with the people smiling, because the people smiling are the ones that engage in recreational use of some illegal substances. Okay, so activity A, stress, and you'll get to do both today, but you need to choose one for now. So who votes for A? Okay, remember, it's your choice. So we're going to do activity B. We will do activity A little bit later, right? Just before you get into your car again, we'll do activity A. Okay. Activity B is what Tuso referred to this morning. It's called laughter yoga. And you chose it, right? Has anyone done laughter yoga before? No. It's as foreign to you as what the gliding in the CBD is to me, right? Okay. So laughter yoga, it's really a thing, people. I went to a 2-day certification course to be certified as a laughter yoga leader. Give me a hand, man, people. I laughed so much that I had a hangover for like a week after that. So it was invented by a doctor, an Indian doctor in Mumbai, called Dr. Kataria. He was commissioned to write an article about the benefits of laughter. And he started doing research, and he said, like, that's weird, that laughter has so many benefits. It brings down your blood pressure, right? It normalizes your blood sugar. It just improves your overall well-being, and nobody practices it. So kids laugh about 300 times a day. How many times do you think adults laugh? Give me, and not 4 times, okay? 15? A little bit higher. A day. How many times do you think you laugh a day? Twice. Twice. Okay, he says the best he can do is LOL on WhatsApp. Okay, I'm going to ask you to think. Now think carefully. How many times a day do you belly laugh? Belly laugh. Beautiful lady with the 2-year-old. Have you watched your child? When they laugh, they throw the whole body. They go, and they laugh from you, not this. Okay. So then Dr. Kataria decided that it needs to become a practice, because we as adults, we obviously struggle. We heard the challenges there around having fun, right? And I'm going to quickly tell you the secret to life. A human will do something only for one of 2 reasons. If you remember nothing else that I say to you today, just remember this. We will do something for one of 2 reasons. The one is to move away from pain, and the other one is to move closer to pleasure. That's why we do things. And I believe fundamentally our task on this earth is to reduce suffering, right? If there's anyone in this room that doesn't suffer, you need to come and tell me later what's going on with you, right? Because we all suffer. It's levels of suffering, right? So Dr. Kataria started these exercises so that he can improve people's well-being. And I'm going to quickly show you some of these exercises. It's a thing. They practice it all around the world, right? And you're in good hands, because I've been trained for 2 days. And I've literally done it. The biggest audience I did it was with 800 people. 800 people laughing. So quick other fact. Each emotion has a frequency. All right? And when I walk in here, of which anger has the most intense frequency, right? And if I walk in here angry enough, I'm going to spread it to other people without you having jack shit to be angry about. You will get angry, right? And you won't even know. You'll remember something that happened last week, and you'll get angry about that, right? Those people that were just born angry, right? It's their frequency. Okay, so emotions are contagious. If I walk into a meeting and I'm anxious, I'm going to spread it. Right, so your responsibility is to be aware of these things, and that's why we checked in with emotions. And I'm grateful that person who said anxious felt safe enough to say anxious. And I'm hoping the person who said anxious, and I'm not asking you to even show yourself, I hope they're no longer anxious. Right, because we're spreading to each other, we're rubbing off on each other. Okay, great. So you ready for this laughter yoga? You ready? Okay. I'm going to go easy on you. Like we'll ease you in with the easy stuff, and then I'll upgrade you as you get more competent. Okay. So everybody get up, put the books down. So we're laughing with each other. Yeah. Okay. So, and we have no reason to laugh, right? I did use ChatGPT to help me a little bit with my humor, right? Because most of the time I'm not that funny. Okay. So think of this. Who goes to gym? Very impressive, very impressive. Okay, so that, I think they call it a circuit, right? Where you do this for like a minute, and then it goes beep, and then you need to go to the other one, right? I need to usually untangle myself from the stuff so very uncool, very uncool. Okay, so this is going to be similar to that. All right, so I'm going to give you a few sets. Let's do 3 sets or so. Because we can actually do this. Normally a session like this is an hour, right? Now, 15 minutes of this is similar to a cardio workout because you engage your entire body, and that's why I love it so much. It's like a shortcut, you know? I like shortcuts. Okay, great. So the first one we are going to do, and remember we want this childlike playfulness. This one is great even for the office environment. Okay, so it's called cell phone laughter. All right, so what we are going to do is you're going to take out not your real cell phone now. If you do it with your real cell phone, put it on silent. Otherwise, if you make a pretend call and you laugh and the phone starts ringing, you're going to look like an ass. Okay, so take out your pretend cell phone, and you are going to imagine someone phoned you and they are telling you the funniest thing that you can possibly imagine. Very good, very good. Yeah. It's contagious, people. Okay. The next one, so where I come from, the penguin population is under severe stress. There's about 2% of the African penguin population left. We as humans, we destroyed their habitat and we ate their eggs. In the 60s, they thought it was really cool to eat penguin eggs. So it's our fault. So we do a lot of penguin conservation, and that's why I love this laugh. So you are going to put your feet, not pigeon-toed, but you're going to put your feet like this. And I know you don't have space, so you're going to have to do it on the spot. All right. So you're going to really channel that happy feet penguin inside of you. Okay. So you're going to take your wings, right? Take your wings like this, and we're going to go. Very Okay, okay. Luke's gonna go, Chantal, when are you doing the workshop? Okay, okay. The next one is called water cooler laughter. Okay, so you're gonna go to the water cooler, you have your glass, okay, and you're gonna go, ee, ee, ee. Okay, do it with me. Water cooler, and we go, ee, ee, ee. Another one. Ee, ee, ee. Okay, great. Now, I just want to say, my Botswana people, you're a bunch of sissies, right? Someone said to me, oh, it's so cold. Yeah, I'm going, it's summer. It's summer, people. Okay, so now we're going to do the same one, but we're going to splash each other. Okay, we're going to go, ee, ee, ee. Another one. Ee, ee, ee. Very good, very good. Yay! Okay, so to end off, we're just going to take 4 deep breaths, just in and out, no box breathing. So go in and out, in and out, in and out. Last one. And shake a little bit. Okay, how do you feel? Amazing. You feel alive. And I want to really encourage you. If you've got little kids at home, or if you're an auntie to little kids, go and do this with them. Right, they know this language. We've forgotten this. Hey, don't you think we've forgotten a few? Now, my presentation is going to be a lot more interesting, right? Because I just flooded your brain with endorphins, and I've reduced your stress hormone, cortisol. Cortisol kills us, right? Cortisol kills us. So these little things, I do this a lot in the call center environment. Sometimes when I walk into the call centers that I've worked with, and I go, everybody laughs. Because they know the language, they know what we've done. Okay, so now we are going to talk about human needs. So you aren't just how you are because you were born that way. Okay, there's stuff driving you. And depending on what drives you, you will take certain actions. Right. So I want to explore just the human needs a little bit. Now, I've learned a lot from Tony Robbins. Who knows Tony Robbins? Okay, some people love him, some people hate him, but I've done many of his programs, and I learned a lot through doing his programs. And I want to just share with you a funny thing. So last year I was part of one of his programs, and I kind of said flippantly to my husband, I said like, listen, one day I'm going to be on stage with Tony Robbins. One day I'm going to be on stage with Tony Robbins. 3 days ago, I get an invitation that I was selected to crew a Tony Robbins event in the UK. I'm still like in disbelief, right? But I'm going to be backstage, right? But I didn't specify. When I said to my husband, a stage is a stage, people. A stage is a stage. So I hope to see you when I come back from the event, and then I can share so much more with you. But I think just witnessing people getting to know themselves better, and witnessing people really take that lock and unlocking that genius, that is just magnificent to witness. So I'm really privileged, and I'm very grateful that I was chosen. So there's a beautiful YouTube video where Tony Robbins talks about these human needs. It was a TED Talk a number of years ago. And so guys, you need to follow Learn to Lead on LinkedIn. If you are not on LinkedIn, okay? You need to get with the program, right? I mean, in my 50s, I mean, I'm struggling with some of the younger stuff. Like my daughter goes, Mama, you need to be on Instagram. So people, you will find me on Instagram doing these pouty selfies, right? I'm still a work in progress, but really, if you're not on LinkedIn, you need to be there. I have met the most incredible, generous people on LinkedIn that have shared their resources so freely with me. So, A, if you're not on LinkedIn, get there. Then you need to follow Learn to Lead. And then please stalk me. I love being stalked by people. If you're laughing now, when you get to 50, you come and talk to me again, right? Okay, great. So follow me on LinkedIn, follow Learn to Lead on LinkedIn, and I'll make sure that they post some of the videos that I'm talking about, they'll post it on there. All right. But basically, what Tony Robbins says, there's 6 human needs. The first 4 are the core needs, right? Being certainty, uncertainty, variety, significance, love and connection. And then 5 and 6 are the needs of the spirit. That's your need to grow and your need to contribute to other people's lives. And as you mature, the need to contribute becomes more. Because then you have more to give. Right, so let's just talk through these. Certainty. And as we talk through these, I want you in your book, just give yourself a score out of 10 for each of these. How important you think that is in your life. So certainty, I want to know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. My personal need for certainty is very, very high. People go, oh, you're so laid back, you're so flexible. They don't know what's going on in my head, right? My calendar is booked up 3 months in advance, right? I have slices of half an hours. Like my daughter said to me last year, she said, Mama, I want to book a meeting with you. I said, why? She said, that's the only way I get your attention. She says, those people in your calendar, like, you meet with them, you listen to them. She goes like, I want to book a meeting in your calendar. It was a humbling moment, right? But I did book a meeting for her. And many, many more. I just said, like, can you talk faster? I can't listen that slowly. Okay, but I'm joking, but it is serious, right? So certainty. Ask yourself how important role does that play in your life. Variety, right? Who likes variety? One of my top things is I love to travel, right? I love to travel. And for me, I was invited to speak on stage at the conference when I was 23, right? I arrived in New Orleans, one of the most terrible places. If you're a young person, they've got some funky shit going on in New Orleans, okay? Luckily, my mother prayed a lot. But I used to love to bring things home, right? Now, I don't buy any curios or any mementos. I go for a cooking lesson or an experience because I'm collecting those memories, right? I love the variety of arriving in a strange city. I can remember for our honeymoon, my husband and I went to Venice, the one with the lots of rivers. Okay, my sense of direction is amazing. I mean, I should have been a man. Like, my sense of direction is that good. I should have been a man. So we arrive in Venice, and I said to him, it's that way. And he argues with me. This was a new relationship, people. We got married within 3 months of meeting each other, and he didn't know. I go, okay, we go your fucking way. Let's see. So after an hour, he said, okay, you take the lead. So I go, don't, till death do us part, don't ever do that again. Right. So certainty, I love variety. He does not like variety, right? If I want to go out for dinner, it needs to be booked 3 months in advance. I need to fill out a requisition form in triplicate, right? He does not like variety. Okay, significance. I think we all want to be significant, right? We all want to be, we all have all of these things, but it's about the role that it plays in your life. So in my 20s, boy, did I want to be significant, right? Now that I'm older, significance is not that important to me. Contribution is a lot more important. Love and connection. If you tell me you don't do that, you're lying. We all need love and connection. You know what? The most purest love I've ever experienced in my life, the purest, unconditional love, is from a dog, right? I got this puppy called Sushi. It's actually my daughter's dog, but she chose me. Right? My daughter's heartbroken. I go, my darling, I don't know. She chose me. So we got my daughter another puppy. Now we've got 4. But this dog, when I travel, this dog goes and lies by the back door for a day. She doesn't eat. Then she sees I'm not coming home. Then she goes and she lies on my pillow for another day without not eating. My husband used to send me pictures of this dog lying by the back door. I said, you're breaking my heart. I said, don't do that shit. Like, I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. Right? So that pure, pure love. So love is not always in the context of another human being. Right? It's about what do you surround yourself with. I told you about my 18-year-old boy. He loves plants and fish. The fish are his best friends. Right? I told you it was weird. Now we know he's autistic, right? So when he talks to the fish, it makes a lot more sense now, right? Okay, so love and connection. Then growth. Now growth, I know you're scoring top marks because you're here on a Saturday. Okay, you could have been shopping, you could have been online dating, you could have been doing a lot of other... I see you. Think, 2 huge Labradors. I know your pain. Okay, great. Have you scored yourself on this? You scored yourself. Okay. You know your top thing that's driving you, or you think you know your top thing that's driving you. Okay. Great. So, I need 3 volunteers. Okay? And those 3 volunteers, you will obviously get rewarded, but I need someone whose top need is certainty. Certainty, you want to come up to the stage? Come, certainty, you're going to come up here. Okay, then I need variety. Whose top need is variety? Okay, I've got a variety there. Come up the stage. Okay, and then I need significance. No judgment. Significance, there we go. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, significance. Okay, now. The 3 of you, I want you to think about, let's just wait for significance. Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario, and then I want you to think about, if I give you this scenario, what is the top 2 questions you want to ask about the task you've been given? Okay, you got that? Okay, so I'm giving you a new project at work, right? It's quite a complex project, and you need to engage with a lot of stakeholders. What are the top 2 questions you would ask me about this project? Let's just give them some thinking time. You got your questions? Can you repeat the question again? So you're given a complex project at work that requires a lot of stakeholders to be engaged. I want you to think about what is the 2 questions that you will ask me to clarify that project, to be able to take it on.
Right. Variety. I'd like to know where is this project going to be taking place. Is it indoors, outdoors? Where? The second question that I have for you is, the demographics
Who will be?
who will be in this project.
Amazing. Okay, let's give Variety a hand.
Certainty. I'm going to need to know when the deadline for this project is, right? So that I can gauge how much time I have. And then my second question will be how many stakeholders I have to engage so that I can allocate the right time to all these stakeholders.
Okay, good job, good job.
Significant. I would ask you how the project would make the attendees feel after the project. And also, are there going to be emotions? Are we going to cry during the presentations? Because I love being in touch with my feelings. And mostly when I teach, or I'm still advocating for people to be in touch with their feelings. So would there be engagement, like question and answer, interactive sessions where, you know, yes.
Amazing. Okay, so a very simple illustration. Can you see how different this is? Depending on what drives them, right? We've got the drama queen there. She would love to have this project very visible, right? Love to know who's the top execs going to be involved here. How do I make them feel? You know, how am I going to look, right? Right? I'm joking a little bit with you, but she knows the feeling, right? And then she's hoping the project's going to take place in New York City, right? She would love that project to be in New York City. And then the one that I would trust my life with, okay, because she goes when and how many people. Right, okay, let's give them a hand. You can go back. Oh. Okay, now let's give you some sour jelly teddies because that's going to make you laugh, okay? Let's give you some, I gave her the little jelly man, the jelly man. I laughed yesterday when I bought those jelly man. I had a very bad patch with one of my bosses. And I had this amazing innovation that I wanted to implement and he didn't want to listen to me. So I took those jelly babies and I took scissors and I cut their heads off. And I left it on his desk. And he came to me, he said, I know it was you that cut the people's heads off. How's that for communication? Okay, great. So I'm hoping that, again, you discovered something about yourself in this exercise, right? It's not random what we do. Now, the combination of my driving forces before I started on my personal development journey was certainty and significance, right? That's a lethal combination, people, okay? Because you're never enough. You're never good enough. You don't reach that level of perfection. The standards I set for myself, I wouldn't set for any other human being, right? So I looked at that and I understood so much why I'm tired. I understood so much about myself and I needed to shift, right? So every morning, the first thing I do is I ask myself, am I on the path of love? Because love and connection shifts this. As soon as you become connected to people, connected to causes. I had a situation 2 years back where the municipality in Gansbaai did a unauthorized installation of a sewage pipe within the high water mark on the beach in an area where black oyster catchers breed. Now, black oyster catchers used to be endangered. The species kind of populated and came back. But interesting thing about the black oyster catcher, they mate for life, right? They bring up their babies for a bird. This is a bird, a black bird with a red beak, right, and red feet. The babies are born in December. They bring up that baby. They look after that baby so much better than what I did with my 3 kids. It's an admirable little bird. Anyway, so I got the authorities involved, and And I got the mayor of the town. I said, you must come and look at this. They're killing the beach. Nobody wanted to listen to me. You know what I did? 6 o'clock in the morning. It was raining. And the construction people started coming out. I laid in front of the digger. And I said, you don't fuck with my birds. And I stopped them. And the Department of Environmental Affairs have fined the municipality for doing this without an impact assessment. That's love and connection, something that I truly, truly believed in. Now, the significance part of me, I did land on the front page of the newspaper, right? And many, many people have called me terrible names. But I did a small little piece. And my kids stood next to me because they wouldn't go to school. They said, what if you get hurt? I go, I'm not going to get hurt. They go, what if you get hurt? I go, I die happy, people. I die happy. Anyway, so my kids, obviously they had a story to tell, but I wanted to show them that if you have a conviction, you've got to fight for it, right? You've got to find that thing in you that gives you fire, and you've got to fight for it, right? Nobody's going to come to you saying, oh, shine peace, I know you want that car so badly. Can I give it to you, right? It ain't going to happen, right? So again, my question to you, is life happening to you or is life happening for you? All right, so now, you need to grab your book and your pen. And I'm going to show you, where's my phone? There we go. I'm going to show you a skill that made me at least 50% smarter than what I really am. You want to learn that? You ready? Can I trust you with that skill? That you're going to use it responsibly? Okay. I'm going to challenge you. You need to use the skill in a romantic way. Okay, great. So, sketchnoting. Sketchnoting is a powerful, powerful, powerful skill. Some of you, who's saying in your inside you can't draw? You're saying you can't draw? Oh, people, art scars, we see it so much, right? So when you were 4 years old or 5 years old, the teacher said, draw for me a horse. And then she came to you and she frowned. And then she got, it's not a horse. It looks like a cow. Okay, and then you promised that you would never, never, never put yourself out there again. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is not art. Okay, it is not art. It is a visual representation what happens in your mind. Okay, now, if you look at that picture and you're in customer service, can you feel what that feels like? Okay, the guy behind the desk, he just doesn't want to come out because he deals with shit all day long, okay? And the customer is really a nice person, but in that moment, they turn into an absolute monster. If I show you that picture 10 years from now, you will remember it. You won't remember any of the other stuff I said, but you will remember the picture because your brain is wired to take visuals and make sense of it. So, how I have used this skill, and I invite you, we're going to go through a quick tutorial. I'm going to teach you the stuff I know. How I use this skill. Where's my lady with the online meetings that kill you? Okay, online meetings, okay? I draw what people say, right? I draw my stakeholders. I ask myself, what's their pain? How can I relieve their pain? When people say things in a meeting, I draw it. When I'm in a meeting for 15 minutes and I can't draw jack shit, that meeting's going nowhere slowly, okay? So it allows me to ask the right questions so I can move the meeting in the right direction. I can solve problems better, I can ask much smarter questions, and I remember things so much better. I had a conversation with Luke, you know Gordon Little. I had a conversation with Gordon Little, the CEO of F&B Commercial. And when we started the project, this was November 2020. When we started the project with him, I said, I said to him, let's fast forward to the end of your project. What do you want to celebrate? What would you like us to deliver to you that you would want to celebrate? And he told me everything, and I sketch noted it while he was talking online, unfortunately on Teams, but that's the way they roll. Sketch noted it completely, and then as we ended off the meeting, oh, by the way, I need to tell this part of the story. So he went on for like 40 minutes what he needs, and I sketched it, and I said to him, he said, no, I think I'm done. I go, okay, now it's my turn. I'm going to tell you now what I need from you. And I said, I need your cell phone number. Because if I'm lying awake about your project at night and you're not lying awake, we've got a problem. And he gave me his cell number. Now we're exchanging holiday pictures and stuff like that. Which is a really good sign when your main sponsor sends you holiday pictures. All right. So what I did when that meeting ended, I hit send of the sketch note. 3 months later, I'm in a presentation, and Gordon brings up the sketch note, and he goes, this is where we're going with the project. I never thought, it wasn't done very neatly. So the point is not to be neat. The point is to be clear. And if I ask him to reproduce that, he will reproduce it. Everything's on there. He said he wants the legal guys to use friendly language, right? I draw a terrible looking lawyer using friendly language. Okay, so you ready? You want to learn how to do this? Okay. Let me just plug in my iPad. And let's just make a nice, what do you call this? Okay, that one. 'n vierkant, nee, 'n reghoek, nee, ek weet nie. Okay, now, I also want you to just quickly, just do a few dots on the side. Just do a few dots, right? And if you take a dot and you chase it, right? If you make it go very fast, it becomes a line. Do you see that? Do you want to see that? A dot that becomes a line. There we go. Okay, so now you've got the basic shapes. Let's just make 3 of each of them. I know you might have not planned space, but just be flexible. Let's just do it. Okay. Now, if you see every object as a shape, right, it's going to be a lot less intimidating. So tell me, what can we do with a square? What can a square be? Just shout it out. A square can be a box, so I just put a ribbon on it. Okay, did you see that? I can undo and just show you again. Okay, you just put a ribbon on it. Okay, what else can a square be? A house. Okay, so now I'm going to combine it with a triangle and with some doors. Okay, you got that? House. What else can a square be? Say again? A playground. Okay, so let's turn this into shall we turn it into a rugby field or okay, that's a rugby pole from the top. If you ever struggle, you just label it rugby pole. Okay. And there you take all the shame out of your drawing. Okay, we can also do like a soccer. Let me try a soccer net. Okay, soccer net. There we go. And if there's doubt, soccer net. Okay, cool. Let's move on to circles. You've done a great job with your squares. Circles. What can we turn a circle into? A ball. Okay, let's do a ball. Let's do a ball. Okay, we're going to do a fancy ball. How's that? One of those beach balls that you blow up. Okay, what else can a circle be? A pizza. I love that. I love that. Let's do a pizza. We do a nice thick crust, and then we do some pepperoni, people. There we go. Or namachoma, you just put namachoma on a pizza. Okay, what else? Huh? Apple! Great job, okay. Okay, we're gonna make the apple like shiny, there. Ooh. That is definitely not an export fruit there, but it's fine. Okay, triangle. What are we gonna do with a triangle? A tent, I love it. Tent, okay. Let's put a little flag on the tent. There we go. What else? A kite. Okay, that's a little bit more challenging, but we do it. We do, oh, goodness me. Okay, if there's doubt, we go kite. Okay. How about a slice of pizza? One slice. Okay, we do one slice. Oh, that looks like a watermelon. Let's go pizza. Okay, you're getting this? Okay. What about that? What's that thing? Rectangle. Okay, what can we turn a rectangle into? A Kit Kat finger. Okay, let's do Kit Kat. It has written on the chocolate, right? It has, okay. Oh, nice. I love it. A bus. Let's do a bus with lots of little windows. It looks more like a train. Let's just put a, I don't know. People, I don't know. Okay. We do bus. Okay, what else? A bread. Okay. Let's do bread. I'm going to do a fancy bread, right? Like that. How's that? Oh, let's put some stuff on. Okay. People, you see bread. Okay, we label it. Okay, you're happy with those shapes? So what you want to try and do is when people talk to you in meetings, you want to work out a visual vocabulary. Okay, so, and nobody ever has to see your notes. So let me show you some of my visual vocabulary, right? And if you want to flip to your new page, you can think about, let's do it like this. Write down the 3 most frequent things that you discuss in a meeting that you would want to write down. Let's quickly get them. Let's just give some feedback here. What's the 3 most things that keep on coming up in meetings where you want to write it down? Figures, okay. Figures, timelines. Okay, so let's look at figures, a visual icon for figures. I do this. Okay, where I know there's money involved, right? So I draw a bag of money. If I know timelines are involved, this is my visual vocabulary for calendar. Okay. What else? Say again, sorry, that was... Deliverables. Okay, deliverables. Sometimes I do it like this. So I would have, there's some kind of an action list, like that, with tick boxes. Or your deliverables could be a flag. Where am I heading? Or sometimes I do, you know the Google Maps thing where they have that little thing, the location thing. Deliverable, where do we want to go to? Okay, one more. Stakeholder, okay? So sometimes I just do this for stakeholder. Stakeholder, okay? Depending on the authority, I might do that, okay? And depending on how friendly they are or not, I might do this, okay? Okay, let's delve into drawing people, okay? Okay, so people, so what I want you to do is just take a space and draw some circles. Okay, I want you to draw 9 circles. Let me just quickly get an idea. Team, we are running slightly behind. Okay? Let me just contract with you. Is there anyone that has something critical that they need to run to at 1 o'clock? Okay, there's a few people. Okay, there's too many people. I'm gonna just talk faster. Okay, so the problem we do with people is we usually draw their eyes too high. Okay, you want to draw the eyes in the middle of the circle. Okay, eyes in the middle of the circle. Okay, then I'm going to show you something really funny. Okay, we're going to go, this is like a spreadsheet. Okay, so I want you to do this. That's your key on the side. Okay, and that, and that, and that. Okay, now, the top row will be the mouth. So I want you to give these people all smiley mouths. You with me? Then, the middle row, we're going to give them just straight mouths. You with me? That row is straight mouths. Then the last row, we're going to give them the unhappy mouths. Okay, now we're going to go, we were columns. Sorry, I said rows, right? Columns. I know where I'm going when I'm driving, right? Okay. So now we're going to go row. Okay, now we're going to do the eyebrow. So the eyebrow with the thing that looks like a U, I'm just going to do it like this. Do you see? And then the middle one, I'm just going to give them not a unibrow, but just straight brows. Okay, and then the last row, I'm just going to do that. Do you see all the emotions you've created there? I mean, you can identify most of your stakeholders in your business environment on there, right? And mostly, let me take another color. I love this color wheel. Mostly, your stakeholders might be sitting there. Okay. So you got it waxed. Okay, last thing I want to show you, and then we're going to move on. Last thing I want to show you is how to draw a group of people. Okay? So we're going to take an upside down U, which is like an N. And then you keep on going. You make lots of them. Okay? You close them at the bottom and you give them heads. Okay. You want to see that again? Okay? One more time. You go M. You make lots of M. Okay? You close them at the bottom and you give them heads. Nice one. Okay. Now, if they are discussing something, you give them a speech bubble like this. Okay? If they're angry, you do the special characters. Okay? Okay? If they're not angry, let me undo that. If they're not angry, maybe they're talking about love. Maybe they're talking about money. Okay? You draw your money bag. Okay? If they are happy, you give each person at the end a hand. Okay? And now you give them mouths, and that's a happy group of people. So if you go onto YouTube, you will find many, many, many tutorials like this. But then, when I am meeting, quickly, when I'm meeting with 3 people, right? Let's say it's Luke, and let's say it's Tuso, and let's say it's Johan. Johan is like, he's the risk officer, right? So I will know that I'm meeting with these 3 people, right? And now I'm going to be saying, okay, so Luke, Johan is always about risk. So I've got this, you know, the road sign with the mark. Okay, Tuso is, yes, he's friendly, right? He's always friendly. And then Luke, maybe he's worried about the money. Okay, so now I can very easily jot down what's their concern, what are they saying. So I can go, okay, this project, the project is late. Okay. So maybe I draw like a siren, you know, the sirens that go, woo-woo. Okay, so we're worried about the project late. And I'll just label little pieces of what I'm writing down. I promise you, you will remember that months from now. So it's a practice, it's a skill. So are you ready to put this practice to work? You ready? Okay. So what we're going to use this skill for is for you to step out of the mundane and to do a bit of vision boarding. You happy with that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to be doing now is just getting a little bit quiet and just center yourselves. We're going to do a short visualization, and then I'm going to get you to draw what you visualize. Okay. This better. You can probably hear me. Okay, great. So I want you to close your eyes. Through your hips. Breathe into your tummy. Move up to your shoulders. Imagine you see a smile in the sky, a big broad smile across the sky. Take 3 deep breaths in and out. And when you breathe out, let go of all of the limitations, all of the worries and the stresses. Take one last deep breath. And I want you to imagine that you are sitting on the grass next to a beautiful lake. And there are birds flying over you. And like a child, you lay on your back on the grass. And you see the movie of your life playing in the sky, like a big outdoor theater. And in that movie, you see the people you love around you. Look at their faces. Think about the emotions you evoke in them when you spend time with them. You move from being with your friends and your family to being at work. What does that ideal workplace look like for you? What are you doing? This is your movie. You can do anything. What does your day look like? Who's around you? What's on your desk? There's a photo frame on your desk. Who's in that photo frame on your desk? Visualize yourself connecting with people on a deeper level. See yourself engaging in meaningful conversations, building strong relationships, creating a sense of belonging and understanding. Picture moments of empathy, compassion, and genuine connection with others. Envision yourself as a catalyst for positive change and transformation. See yourself inspiring and empowering others, sharing your knowledge and skills, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond your immediate circle. And as you visualize this impact, you look at the lake and you pick up a pebble and you drop it into the lake and see the water making circles, just like you will make circles. And I want you to take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and sketch note on your pad what you just visualized and what you just experienced. Start wrapping up. So let me ask you a few questions. Who's surprised by what they drew? Who's surprised? Okay, there's a few shy hands going like, I'm not too sure what to do with this. Okay. Who is excited by what they drew? Okay, good job. Who's scared by what they drew? We have a lot of liars in the room, right? Because if you're not scared, it's not big enough. Okay, if you're not scared, you're not thinking big enough. Okay, so who's got this critical voice that says, but, someone said here earlier, all the excuses, right? Oh, I got at least 50 excuses why I'm not doing things. Okay, so for the people that have that critical voice with all the excuses, okay, I've got quickly homework for you. You need to go and write down the 3 reasons why you think you will not achieve this. Okay, 3 reasons why you don't have to do it now, but the 3 reasons why you don't think you'll achieve this. Then I want you to flip that around, right? So let's say, I don't have the money to start a new business, right? Then you need to flip that statement around saying, I am resourceful. I will find a way. When I started Brand Love 11 years ago, I sold my car and most of my furniture in my house. And since then, I've sold a lot of furniture. My husband would come home, he'd go, honey, where's the couch? I go, no questions asked. Like, no, right? And I'm blessed because I was willing to make those sacrifices. So I want you 3 reasons and then flip them around. So we are going to start closing because I want to be respectful towards your time. But there's one more exercise that I want to give you before we go. Now, I don't know if funerals are so big here as what they are in South Africa, okay? The amazing thing about, I actually want, at a funeral, they say such great things about people, right? But while they're alive, they say really shitty things about them behind their back, right? I just want to, reverse that. People at my funeral, they must say the most terrible things about me, okay? The stuff that they wouldn't tell me while I was alive, right? And then they must say great things about me now. Okay, so we want to reverse this gravestone thing, right? I want you to think for a moment about your life stone. Instead of having a gravestone, you're going to have a life stone. And I challenge you, when you go home, go and find a little stone outside, right? And I want you to create a life stone for yourself. The thing you want to be known for in life. I'm going to try and play this video for you. Before I challenge you, let's see if this plays. This illustrates it so beautifully.
When we're laying on our deathbed, you're not going to worry about how much money you had, how much power you had, how much prestige. You're going to see that that was all game, that that was all an illusion. The only thing that's going to matter is the impact you had on other people's lives.
We are all on a separate journey. But the beautiful thing about our life here on this earth is at my funeral, they ain't gonna talk about my success. They're gonna talk about who Nick was and how Nick lived and how Nick loved and encouraged.
Success is incredibly important, but even more important than success, it's having an impact. It's knowing you haven't walked the planet in vain. It's knowing that because you've been here, you've blessed lives, you've developed people, and you have made the world a better place.
The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart.
Life is a mirror, and life gives us not what we want. Life gives us who we are. When you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice.
So just before we say goodbye to each other, I want you to write one word. What's in your heart? What do you choose to go on your life stone? And I want you to take both your vision board that you created and this one word that's on your life stone and put that up visibly somewhere, inside your cupboard, on your mirror. Manifestation will help you get what you want. Something as simple as saying, I'm going to be on Tony Robbins' stage. Made it happen. All right, so it is 1 minute past 1. So what's left for me to do is just say incredible thank you to everyone that played a role in organizing this. We had an amazing AV team, our video people, Luke and Lesh. Thank you for your labor of love. I'm so grateful to have found you. Luke is like the coolest. He was CFO at that time, the coolest CFO on LinkedIn. That's how I found him. I'm always looking for cool CFOs, and there's not many of them around. I'm sorry if I'm insulting anyone here. So thank you so much for your labor of love. Thank you for trusting me with these beautiful people. Thank you for the sandwiches. Thank you for beautiful lady smiling there at the back who did all the bookings and administration. We love you. Thank you. You made this possible. So the last thing I want to share with you is the reason why I started working with Luke and Lesh is I truly believe my word is generosity. And if I can help someone who doesn't necessarily have any means to pay for something, I will do that. So we've donated a number of seats in the 9-month Brand Warrior program to learn to lead. We will communicate with you when we open applications, but it's a full scholarship for the full 9 months. And all we ask you to do is give back. So if you liked what you saw this morning, the Brand Warrior program is a 9-month experience like this one. It is fully virtual, and it is very interesting for a virtual program. And you can come in your towel or your onesie, or if needs be, your underpants, right? Look at him, he's ready to flash. All right, so we will be communicating with you when we open applications to the program. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Luke, I don't know if there's any parting words from you, but thank you for your time this morning. I've had fun seeing your shiny eyes, I've laughed, and I've learned from your stories. I'm inspired by your stories. So thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thanks. It's literally a minute. So what we would love to have had is a big bunch of flowers to give to Chantal, but she's literally getting on a plane tomorrow morning to go back to Cape Town. So the two things that I would ask that we do give her is, the one is to take what we've learned here, find some platform to share it. So there's so much wisdom. I had to come in and out because I was helping with pieces of organizing. But every time I walked in, I left with 3 things that I learned. So there's going to be something to share with someone. So please, that's the biggest pay forward that you could ever give to Chantal. And then this brand warrior sponsored program is massive. There's a few organizations in Botswana that have gone through this. Certainly our one has used it before. It's an incredible program from what we understand. I would love to go on it, but I think Chantal's going to disqualify me for some reason. But please, if you're interested, put your hands up for that. So Chantal,
we full.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely,
That's all.
absolutely. Thank you.
A round of
Thank you.
And then we've left the tea and coffee outside. If anyone wants to socialize, Lesh, myself, Chantal will be around to chat. Sorry.
You know what you can give me? Can I take a selfie with you? But you put like wild jazz hands in the air. Okay, let's do that.